Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again with a bit more Diablo 2 videos and news. First time since it first came out, Diablo 2 Resurrected, that is, the updated version of it for more or less just graphics, but a couple of little quality of life changes. Played it 7 months ago, 6, 7 months ago when it first came out, and there was no ladder season yet, and there was supposed to be a ladder season coming soon. It took like half a year to put out a ladder season, and here it finally is, and that's why I'm currently playing it and sharing a video with you. On top of that though, Diablo 2 itself has released for this Resurrected its first actual balance patch and update that I can remember or think of in like since it came out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember pretty much anything about the game changing except for the expansion showing up and then 1.08, 0.09, some shit like that, and then that was it. And it's been a goddamn long time since an update, and this update has brought about a few changes for quality of life and also balance, so that some more builds are a bit more viable, and also a way of playing is a bit more viable. So as you can see, I'm playing Fist of Heaven's Paladin, and it is a pretty nice PvE build at this point. It still struggles with some enemies, as you can see right here, but basically it was changed to have the ability to hit demons as well as the undead, and also just interact better. There's Holy Bolt, which pierces things. There's a higher damage in the Holy Bolt, the casting delay on it is lowered, and it's just a much nicer build than it ever used to be. But as I said, it still struggles with things that aren't demon, that aren't undead, so this is just a couple of examples of that sort of thing, because you have to just hit it manually. So Fist of Heavens is going to be split into two different things. As well as that, you can see just once again the difference between the original game and then Diablo 2 Resurrected, just in the background as I'm going to talk over the top of it, and it really still is pretty mind-blowing how much better or smoother and nicer it is. It just is a joy for your eyes by comparison to the old version, which is why I couldn't really play Diablo 2 anymore in the past 10 years since moving on to Path of Exile. But Resurrected has let that happen. So Fist of Heavens, currently it's an okay build with absolutely no real gear, no real starting crap. So it's my first character, and I'd equate it pretty similar to a hammerdin early on. It has a similar feel for overall character power and clear ability, but the hammerdin will overall be a bit better against many targets, and as well as that will AoE clear a bit nicer as well. But on the really thick enemies, so Chaos Sanctuary is one of the nicer things for to farm for Fist of Heavens, because it's got a lot of demons and a lot of undead, and basically all of your damage is up all of the time, and that means that we can farm Chaos Sanctuary pretty well, and then fit in a few other zones that you like, and Fist of Heaven's Paladin off of no gear starts to feel pretty decent. So that's what I've been doing with my character for the past couple days. Basically got him through normal to hell, and it's usually a pretty good feat for a regular character to be able to do that without much assistance, because hell starts to get rather punishing on many different types of immunities and all that, and Fist of Heavens can take care of the game in one fell swoop. It will be a bit difficult in some acts and in some zones because of non-demons, non-undead, but it's definitely doable, and probably one of the better ones that I've done in Diablo 2 Resurrected so far, since I have played a few characters to completion last time, and this time just this one, and it's gone pretty well. So I can recommend it, and that is basically what I wanted to show you, and then also talk to you about the Diablo 2 patch that made a few things a bit nicer. There is the current character, level 85 Paladin called Heavenly Fisting. Getting to level 8 is pretty simple. You basically just, or like maybe 70, mid 70s, you basically just finish hell, and then after that you grind a bit of content and you get to like 85, and then you grind even more, you get to 90, and then beyond that gets really slow. But most builds are pretty much done by about 80-ish. So I'll just quickly go over what my character looks like, what the build looks like, and then talk about the changes in Diablo 2 since the new patch that flew in. And these things kind of build themselves, so there's not really much to talk about here. There's not that many decisions you need to make. Fist of Heavens by itself just starts out with some lightning damage, slap someone down with some lightning, and then it shoots out a bunch of holy bolts. And the main change that happened here is that the holy bolts, which are magic damage, can also hit demons as well as undead, and they also pierce through enemies, so it causes a much nicer AoE effect and lets you actually clear the skill much better than ever before. And it became basically a PvE skill as opposed to just PvP. As well as that, you can use it far more often. The casting delay has been reduced, and Holy Bolt's damage went up, and you can also pierce through a whole bunch of enemies with that too, and that's going to be your single target for this type of build. So basically the build will say, you know, Holy Bolt, Holy Shock, so we've picked up all the Holy Shock as well, and then maxed out Conviction. This one's kind of optional, honestly. It's just if you want to also have the lightning damage be better in single target situations and better against enemies that aren't demon and undead, which isn't that many or that relevant, but this is how I've decided to do it. You can instead do like kind of a hybrid thing and maybe get some hammer action as well, which some people do. But that's what I've currently filled out, and that's all there is to it at the moment. And then with stats, it's pretty much always the exact same thing. Get as many as you need to wear your gear. And in this case, my shield has 115 strength required, and then pump the rest into vitality. You can try and get some dexterity to get your block up, but that's more of like a PvP thing. And that's it. So as far as the gear is, it's very simple. Just put together a spirit sword, a spirit shield. This one has a base amount of 37 to all resist. Then just still using a stealth armor since level 17, lore hat since level 27, fast castering thing, just bitter resists and magic find there, magic find amulet, some crap boots, and some triangles, gloves. And then my only real good find up till now while doing my chaos runs is the arachnid mesh, +1 skills, some faster cast rate, and it's basically the generic caster belt for almost every character possible. So that's all there is to it. That's the entire build, and it goes around and does things pretty well. And it plays pretty nice as well. So the main thing that kind of happened is the playstyle has changed a little bit for your Diabloing, because you can, as you notice, have a active skill bindings being displayed now. So this is everything that I've bound to keys, and it shows them all. And if you enable quick cast as well, like I have here, quick cast skills, you no longer have to press one of those keys. Let's say S. You no longer have to press that, and actually no, let's keep S on. You no longer have to press Q and then right click, because previously you'd press your Q, Holy Shield would be your new setup on your right click, then you'd right click, then you'd go back to whatever else you were using by pressing one of those. Instead, with this, you can now just press Q once, and it's going to apply the buff without changing your default left or right click. So same with the Holy Bolt and the Fist of Heavens and my charge. Essentially, you no longer have to swap to that skill and then use it. It'll just use that skill at this point, and that is, a really nice change to fluidify your gameplay, to not force you to do so many more things, whereas you previously had to swap into that skill and then use it. So it's a pretty good change, and it has made the gameplay quite a bit more fluid. And if you played some D2 back then, and if you tried some D2R, coming back to the patch just for that is pretty cool, honestly. So that's the main bulk of the changes there, and that's my character. There's not too much else to mention, I don't think. So after that, I will then just go over what had happened with the patch itself, the other changes. So this patch came in like a couple weeks ago, I think, but the ladder only just now started. And the ladder itself is pretty meaningless for most of us, most people. It's going to keep track of the highest levels on the server. And currently that's like level 94, 95, some shit like that. And then first person to hit 99 wins. Yay. That's it. That's the entire ladder process. Otherwise, there's just a few extra rune words that you can use, I suppose. And gives you a fresh start, which is always a little bit of fun, as we know with PoE leagues. It's just an excuse to start up again. But otherwise, the actual patch itself has a bunch of changes that are kind of worth checking out and coming back to. And the main thing is basically just some balance changes and some extra class skills and builds becoming viable where they once weren't. Now, the highlight of this is, let's say, Amazon. The spear skills, the melee one specifically, got some pretty big revamps, so that became kind of a build. Boazon became a bit more of a build, and that's one I might try today. Assassin Martial Arts for PvE became a bit more of a build. You then have Barbarian, I think, got a few changes. I don't know much about what actually happened here. Droid in particular, fire droids, caster fire droids have become much more of a build than they were before, and likewise the summoning got a pretty big revamp, so you can get a summoner droid going, though it's still going to be fairly mediocre, I think. Necromancer, I'm not sure what has really changed there. The main thing for Paladin is the Holy Bolt and Fist of Heavens, and then Sorceress got a few changes for, like, I don't know, Hydras, I think, and couple of skills, so Hydra became more of a build and some lightning shit maybe. So yeah, there's more builds that are a little bit more viable than they used to be, so that's a bit fun and different for Diablo since not many changes happened in the past 20 years. Uber Diablo, I think, can actually be like procced a lot easier. I haven't really looked into it. Mercenaries. So previously, basically everyone used Act 2 Mercenary, but they've tried to make the other mercenaries a bit more enticing to use, and it is to some success. So Act 1, 3, and 5 mercenaries all got slight buffs or changes, and you know, they can do some different things. Currently I'm still using the Act 2 merc because I do like his Holy Freeze, but they definitely can be used these days apparently. And there's a few new rune words, don't know if they're actually changing much for the overall gameplay. But they exist. And then new Heraldic Cube recipe, which is basically just to get your set items upgraded if you want. So you can turn your set items from normal to exceptional to elite now, like you could with unique items on the ladder. And a few level area changes so you can farm some other shit. But yeah, overall, bunch of changes to some extent that Diablo 2 has not really seen in many a year, as far as I'm aware, and it has opened up a few builds. So I've been playing Fist of Heavens, pretty much the first time it's been viable for PvE. Feels pretty good, and I will probably try out Amazon, maybe Fire Droid, but basically we're sitting here waiting for the PoE announcement and then the league to start, which should be any second now, a few more days, and then yeah, we'll find out just how excited we are with the PoE patch. Nerfs, buffs, new stuff, who knows. But playing games like this really does make me appreciate PoE for what it is. It is just so much more deep, polished, complete, and modern than pretty much anything else out there. And I can't be trying Grim Dawn or Last Epoch. It's because it's relearning a whole new game, and until they're officially like amazing and the next big thing, I'm probably going to keep avoiding them, for the record. With Diablo and all that, I know these games, it's easy to come back into it and just see the few changes and then seamlessly transition. With those other games, it's going to be brand new and too much work for me. Yep. So that's Diablo 2. PoE coming back to relevancy soon. Can't wait for that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't a complete waste of time. But thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.